Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, the last thing that we were talking about was confronting the dukkha, or confronting our emotional states. And the answer is, why fight with it when you can just throw it out? All we really need to do as an investigation is to investigate it enough to see this is unwholesome, this is dukkha.
Hmm.
And then we throw that out and we bring something wholesome in. So, for the very beginning student, we could say that the wholesome then that would be brought in would have to do with what they see in the here now, because the here now is generally wholesome. Past and future, not so much.
Hmm. Yeah.
But if we're in the present moment, then that's wholesome. But now, what we're also going to do is add the Dhamma as a whole new package of what's wholesome.
Hmm.
And so we can use the wholesomeness of the Dhamma in combination with the wholesomeness of the here now, in the sense of this is dukkha, or this is not dukkha.
Hmm.
Making the statement, so wow, this is so nice, this is freedom, no dukkha, I feel so good, right? So that would be um, mixing the Dhamma with the here now. In fact, the Dhamma is all about the here now. The, the Buddha gave himself the name and referred to himself as Tathagata. Have you ever heard of that word?
Yes.
And it means what?
The awakened one, or the seer of um, the one who sees something like this.
The word Tathata is actually the word for the here now in Pali, and it um, is often translated as the word thus. And so, with the Pali, thus gone one.
Okay.
Now, okay, now thus gone one is a very literal translation that's completely missing. People don't understand what it means at all.
Okay.
But when you recognize that thus means this, or this minute, right here, this one, not that, not that that's over there, or that that's in the past, but this is it, or this is thus. And so the Tathagata is one who is gone to the this, or gone to the thusness, gone to the here now, gone to this present moment.
Mm.
That's what it means.
Okay. That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay? And we use the word Buddha, and the word Buddha means to be awake, but literally we can get all confused about what that means, but really what it means is to be awake in the sense of to be here now, to be awake in this moment, as opposed to thinking about the past, because when we're thinking about the past, that's a kind of dreaming, not being woke up. When an inventor is inventing, he's dreaming something up. He's not in the present moment.
Hmm.
Okay? So, this is what we mean by the Tathagata, or to be in here now, and the Dhamma is all about that. The entire teachings of the Buddha has to do with what's happening right here, right now. And so we can take the here now that we can experience around us and add the layer of the Dhamma to that, and we've got a full package of wholesome,
Mm. Okay.
a full package of wholesome, as opposed to anything in the past, anything out there, anything into the future, anything in that other place. That's all unwholesome.
Mm.
What is wholesome is right here, right now. This is freedom from suffering,
Hmm.
or this is investigation, or this is right effort. This is right attitude.
Hmm.
This is the lion's attitude. Okay? This is how we work with it. is by being in the present moment and recognizing, yes, the right attitude. This is it.
Hmm.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So uh, when we practice, then, this is the way that we're practicing is to make sure that the kind of thoughts that we have are wholesome and we can take great joy in that. That it feels really nice to be in the here now. Allow yourself to feel good. The whole idea of gladdening the mind is basically to talk yourself into feeling good, but you can also work directly into feeling good. This is sukha.
Hmm.
This is piti.
Hmm.
And so we work with it. This is a sharp mind.
Hmm.
And so we go over these items of the first jhana in this present moment, investigating, looking. So this is one's new way of practice.
When when the sort of as this is progressing, as I'm moving more in line with the path, um, these structures of personal attachment to identities that I am shedding. Um, so just so I understand this correctly, as they arise, the goal is to move to the side, and I guess not let them, but basically just at least move out of the way, not identify or make them as personal as I once did before, and then
Hmm.
that will essentially play itself out, and I
Right. Think about it like this, that if you have a plant that you keep cutting off at the ground level, as soon as the shoot comes up, you cut it off.
okay.
Eventually, that plant underneath the roots will wither and die.
Mm.
So is the hindrances, because the hindrances have roots.
Hmm.
But if we keep cutting those hindrances off every time we recognize that it's come up, then the roots are not going to get much nutriment, and therefore they're going to dwindle, and the hindrances become less and less. So this is why it doesn't take nearly so much effort anymore, is because the hindrances are quite weak, and your let us say a here now machine, your here now toy is getting stronger.
Mm. Yep. Okay. That makes sense.
And so this is the process that we're going through. That you keep cutting this stuff off over and over and over again. You don't have to dig it up. It
Mm.
will come up on its own. And when it comes up, we'll cut it off
Yep.
as soon as we check it.
That's a great tip. It's it seems often that we need to go in and into the caves and get everything fixed right now or confront every problem, every little trauma. But I think you've sort of sorted that out pretty well.
Uh-huh. Right. That is different than that. That we don't have to go in, dig it up, and pull it out. That it will just dwindle and die away if we cut it off in this moment. So we don't have to do much investigation.
Mm.
We don't have to go digging into it. We only investigate enough to say, "Aha, there you are," and out
Yeah,
you go.
it's it makes it into something that's quite manageable. I think.
Precisely.
Yeah, it
All
seems.
that digging sounds like a lot of work and
Yeah,
oh, so much dukkha.
it's overwhelming. You think, oh, I have to do this for a ton of years. I have to get a therapist. I gotta do all this work to become healed. But I mean,
No. Basically, all you have to do is to say no to this donut.
yeah, it's and remembering to continue to say,
Remember that this
yeah,
donut is dangerous.
yeah. So that's the hard. I guess if there was a hard part, it would be the remembering. But once that's established more
Hmm.
firmly, then it's just an easy process.
Exactly so. This is why we talk about sati being the number one.
That makes sense.
Okay, that and that's why it's the first on the list of the Sambhojana. But even in the description of the Eightfold Noble Path, where the Buddha says right view comes first, in the sense of the right view here is the willingness to do the investigation and to do the investigation. And then sati comes in. And with sati and right view, we do the investigation. Once we check the investigation to see that, oh, this donut is harmful,
Mm.
now we have to take the effort to not eat that donut. And so, right effort, right. In fact, you could go back to the point of saying that the original right view is I got to be on a diet. And so that's kind of the overall way. I've got to lose some weight. I'm too fat. I need to go on a diet. So that's the original right view.
Mm.
Then we have to remember I'm on a diet. When do we need to remember? In front of the donut. That's when we need to remember.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, so when the donut comes, we have to remember I'm on a diet. And then we have to take the effort to resist that donut, to throw it out. It's hard, because those donuts are expensive. I'd be wasting money if I throw it in the garbage. I'll
Yeah.
be wasting more if I eat it. That's real garbage. That's
Yeah.
double garbage. Better to throw it into the toilet where it's not going to do any damage.
Yeah. I agree completely with that.
Okay, so we throw that donut out, that thought, that hindrance, it goes. And that takes effort in the beginning. But once we get used to it and we can say, oh, I can resist those donuts anytime I want to. I don't have to eat donuts anymore.
Hmm.
Okay, but someday that donut's going to come by and you say, maybe I will. No,
Yeah.
that's the time for sati again. No, no, we've already gotten used to not eating them. Let's not eat this one too.
Mm. It seems like the sukha that we've talked about is a very big element in this too, as you give the mind this alternative, or it's like you give the mind an alternative. It seems to
Mm-hmm.
satisfy itself in another way, so you're not
Right,
just burning yourself into some dry, sad state
I
of
know. Well, when I'm talking of donuts, some people will get confused. So let me put it this way: getting angry is sometimes quite delicious. It's like a donut.
yeah, it's fun. It's fun, right?
Yeah, exactly. But we also recognize that getting angry is harmful.
Of course.
And so, because of that, we have to forego the deliciousness of the anger because it's better ultimately to not, because it's really dangerous. And so, using a diet in this regard is a good analogy,
Yeah.
except that we're cleaning up our lifestyle in one way and cleaning up our lifestyle in another way with the diet.
Yeah. I almost see it exactly the same thing, except this time the food is not physical food. It's just mental.
It's the old mental garbage that we've been keeping in our backpack.
Yeah.
It's not even fresh donuts. It's that old pack that we've been carrying
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. It's such a. I feel like it's such a one-to-one comparison. I think that's a really good metaphor. I think it'll help me sort of not take it too personally and just see it more as a process of not eating
Hmm.
garbage anymore. Really, it's just too much garbage in my mind.
Well, going back to that analogy of shaving, that means that we keep having to shave. Just because we've gotten a really, really good close shave doesn't mean we can stop shaving.
It makes sense.
Just like after a year on a diet is not need you can't end the diet. If you end the
Yeah.
diet, you come back fat again. So, and retreaters, many of them will have a miserable third week after their retreat.
Because they are just relapsing from.
It's relapse, exactly.
Yeah.
They go on a high from the retreat. They feel really good the first week, and the second retreat, second week they're not doing any practice anymore, and the third week they're miserable. Only this time, because they've been high, this misery may not as bad as the old misery, but it really feels really miserable because it's so much worse. Just like the rishi may have had a big long beard and it didn't bother him much, but now he's got stubble, and that bothers him.
Yeah. The way I see it, it's almost like if you're an Olympian and you win gold, all of a sudden it's not like you've won gold and now you don't have to do any more work to continue to be at the top. You sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But I think oftentimes when we win or we feel we've won, it's like we stop because we got the thing and now we can eat donuts again. Well, if you eat donuts, you're
Right, exactly. Exactly so.
you're gonna lose that. You're gonna be in last place, something like that.
All right.
That's how I see
Well,
it.
I think that we kind of understand now. This has been a good talk. You understand that the Dhamma is really the bigger part of it,
Yes.
and that we can continue to practice the Dhamma throughout the day. We can remember, oh, I can have wholesome thoughts. We can remember to take a deep breath. We can remember to be here now over and over and over again throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next time you call, we'll start looking at how we can do that.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay?
All right. Thank you for your time.
All right. Until then, enjoy, enjoy.
All right. Thank you. You too.
Everything but donuts.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.